Bruchim habayim b'shem Adonai. Blessed are you who come here in the name of God. Ivdu Adonai b'simcha bo'u lefanav birnana. Serve God with gladness. Come before God with singing. Mi adir al hakol, mi gadol al hakol, mi baruch al hakol, yivarech techatam va'akala. May God who is great above all, may God who is supremely blessed, may God bless this kala, this bride, and this chatan, this groom. Courtney and John, we've looked forward to this moment for a very long time. And now surrounded by those who are nearest and dearest to you, family and friends who have come from all over the country to share this moment with you, we consecrate, we make holy your love. Under this chuppah, this symbol of God's abiding presence and your first home, we bring God into your relationship. From this time on, your relationship enters a new state, a higher level, because God is part of your love. And so in order to increase the level of kedusha, of holiness within our congregation tonight, I ask that everyone ensure that their cell phones are in the off position. And I'd like to ask the congregation to not take photographs during our ceremony. Borei Shel Olam, creator of the universe, creator of man and woman, and the love between them. Courtney and John come before you today to sanctify their love for one another. Oh God, they have already planted the seeds of love. But with your help and their constant tending, we pray that these seeds will take root, grow, and blossom into beautiful flowers. God, cause raindrops of sensitivity, caring, trust, and faithfulness to fall upon these seeds, so that they may blossom under the radiance of your light. Baruch atah Adonai misameach chatan v'chala. Blessed are you, O God, who unites bride and groom in sacred joy. Amen. Before we stood under this chuppah, we completed the first part of our wedding ceremony, which is the signing of the ketubah, that ancient document which stipulates your responsibilities towards one another. And now we go on to the next part of our ceremony, which is called Seder Erusin, the blessing of betrothal. At some time in the Middle Ages, betrothal or engagement and marriage were combined into one ceremony. And this symbolizes your engagement to one another. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe, creating the fruit of the vine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al ha'arayot, v'asar lanu et ha'arusot, v'hitir lanu et ha'nesuot lanu al yidei chuppah v'kiddushin. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh amo Yisrael al yidei chuppah v'kiddushin. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who rules the universe, whose mitzvot add holiness to our lives, and whose will guides us even in the most intimate of our relationships. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who sanctifies the people Israel with chuppah, this wedding canopy, and kiddushin, our sacred wedding traditions. And John, would you please hold this cup so that Courtney may drink from it? And Courtney, would you please hold the cup so that John may drink from it as well? Good. The wine in this cup is sweet. Its sweetness is symbolic of your being together. Your being together makes the happy times in life more joyous, and it makes the sad times in life, which are inevitable, much more tolerable. We now go to the next part of our ceremony, which is called Nisuin, or marriage. The blessings we are about to recite express our gratitude to God for the miracle of life in general and the sanctity of married life in particular. Because there are 7 blessings in all, they have come to be known simply as the Sheva Brachot, the 7 blessings. In our tradition, 7 carries special significance. It is the number of wholeness and holiness. It is the number of Shabbat, the 7th day, and thus the number of peace. May these Sheva Brachot, these 7 blessings, confer blessing on each day of every week of Courtney and John's life together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen. Praised are you, God, who brings forth fruit from the vine. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol bara lichvodo. Praised are you, God, who shapes the universe. All things created speak of your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam yotzer ha'adam. Praised are you, Holy One, who fashions each person. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher yatzar et ha'adam b'tzalmo b'tzelem demut tavnito v'hitkin lo binyan de'ad baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'adam. We praise you, God, for forming each person in your image. You have planted within us a vision of you and given us the means that we may flourish through time. Praised are you, creator of humanity. Sos tasis v'tagel ha'akara b'kibutz baneh l'tocha b'simcha baruch atah Adonai mesamer Tzion b'vaneha. May Israel, once bereft of her children, now delight as they gather together in joy. Praise to you, God, who let Zion rejoice with her children. Sameach tesamach re'im ha'ahuvim kesamecha yitzircha b'gan Eden mikerem. Baruch atah Adonai mesameach hatan v'chala. Let these loving friends taste of the bliss you gave to the first man and woman in the Garden of Eden in the days of old. Praised are you, the presence who dwells with bride and groom in delight. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bara sason v'simcha chatan v'chala gila rina ditza v'chedva ahava v'achava v'shalom v'riut mehira Adonai Eloheinu yishama ba'arei Yehuda v'chutzot Yerushalayim kol sason v'kol simcha kol chatan v'kol kala kol mitzalot chatanim mechupatan u'na'arim mishten neglinatam baruch atah Adonai misameach chatan im hakalam. Praised are you who lights the world with happiness and contentment, love and companionship, peace and friendship, bridegroom and bride. Let the mountains of Israel dance, let the gates of Yerushalayim ring with the sounds of joy, song, merriment, and delight. The voice of the groom and the voice of the bride, the happy shouts of their friends and companions. We praise you, O God, who brings Courtney and John together to rejoice in one another. Amen. And John, please hold this so that Courtney may drink of it. Get some? And Courtney, please hold it so that John may drink from it as well. This cup is also called Kiddush, which means consecrated. Just as through our blessing we have consecrated this wine to God, so now is your love consecrated to one another. Courtney and John, we are about to reach the most important part of our ceremony, when you actually become husband and wife. But just a few words about you before this moment. You are so fortunate to have found one another. Who could possibly have imagined that a girl from Baltimore and a boy from Chicago would have met in New Orleans, fallen in love, become friends, and then fallen in love? You've been together for 7 glorious years. And as I've already said, 7 is a number of blessing. And you are indeed blessed to have one another. You are so good together. You support each other. You make each other whole. You make each other smile. I'd just like to share with you some insights from the last of these 7 blessings. There are 4 words in the last of the Sheva Brachot that indicate important ingredients in a marriage. 4 ingredients which you have in abundance. The first is ahava, which means love. But it indicates physical love, the chemical reaction, the passion that must exist between bride and groom, between every husband and wife, to make marriage successful. The physical component is essential. And I promise you that as time goes on, as your memories build, as your experiences grow together, that passion, that flame, the fire will ever build and grow hotter. It gets better as time goes on. The second is achava. Achava means that a bride and groom should have similar values, should come from similar kinds of families, should almost feel as if they grew up in the same household, and that you do. You both grew up in Jewish homes. You share the values of our faith and tradition. You're going to build a mikdash ma'at, a miniature sanctuary of your own in your home, a place of warmth, of hospitality, of love. The 2 of you have so much in common. You share tradition, you share values, and so much more. Because the 3rd word is reyut, the 3rd ingredient for a successful marriage. Reyut means friendship. And the 2 of you were very good friends before you became lovers. And all of marriage is built upon friendship. Passion wanes, just like the tides, it goes in and out. But friendship endures. It is the bedrock of every relationship. And that you have in abundance. And the most important ingredient is the last, shalom. Shalom means completeness or wholeness. And by being together, you have now completed one another. You have made each other whole. And so I ask you to face one another. And would you please, John, would you please take this ring and place it upon the 2nd finger of Courtney's right hand. That's good. And hold her hand, both of them, and look at her, not me. And as you look at her, please repeat these words after me. Hare, At, Mikudeshet, Li, Bitabaat, Zo, Kedat, Moshe, V'Yisrael. With this ring, you are consecrated unto me as my wife. In accordance with the law of Moses and the tradition of Israel. Very good, John. And Courtney, please take this ring, which is obviously much larger than your own. Place it upon the 4th finger of John's left hand. It will go on all the way. Very good. Keep pushing. Right. And as you hold his hands and look at him, please repeat these words after me. Look at him. Hare,
Hare,
Ata,
Ata,
Mikudash,
Mekudash,
Li,
Li,
Bitabaat,
Bitabaat,
Zo,
Bo,
Kedat,
Kedat,
Moshe,
Moshe,
V'Yisrael.
Israel.
With this ring,
With this ring,
you are consecrated
you are consecrated
unto me
unto me
as my husband,
and my husband,
in accordance with
in accordance with
the law of Moses
the law of Moses
and the tradition of Israel.
and the tradition of Israel.
Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh et amo Yisrael al yedei chuppah v'kiddushin. Blessed are you, Adonai, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies the people Israel through the holy covenant of marriage. Amen. And you can just face me for a few minutes. And you can still hold hands. It's all right, you're married. I've rarely seen a more handsome and more beautiful bride. But more than your physical appearance, you are just so happy. You are together so sweet and kind and supportive of one another. You make each other laugh, and you hold the other when you cry. I can't imagine two partners better suited for one another in life. But that being said, every couple needs some guidance on their wedding day, and it's my role to give you some. And so you're asking yourself, how can you possibly imagine? How can you possibly remember what the rabbi is going to tell you at this time? Well, I'll make it easy. My advice comes in 5 short statements in the shape of an inverted pyramid. The first statement has 5 words, the second 4, and so on. Each of these is an important lesson for successful marriage. The first is, say to one another, I am proud of you. I am proud of you. Up until this time, you've looked to your parents, to your siblings, to your friends, to show you respect. But respect is at the crux of every relationship. Love, passion, friendship are all important, but without respect for one another, you have nothing. So show the other, tell the other, every once in a while, I am proud of you. The next is crucial because, believe it or not, every couple fights. But we should never fight when we are tired, hungry, stressed, or anxious, which doesn't give much other time for fighting. So the 4 crucial words to put off a fight for a better time when you can discuss it when you're calm. Let's talk it over. Let's talk it over. Try to remember those words so that every dispute, and they exist, every disagreement can be discussed when you're calm and more rational. The next is absolutely important because no matter how long you are married, we tend to be a bit insecure. And so do not let a day go by when you do not say, I love you to one another. I love you, 3 very important words. And the next lesson tells us that you never take each other for granted. Thank you. Thank you. John, when you open the door for Courtney and bring her coffee in the morning, she will say thank you to you. And Courtney, when you pick up his clothes and welcome him and bring him dinner, he'll say thank you. Because you show appreciation to one another. Never take each other for granted. And the last, most important word is the most critical in every relationship. And that word is we. You are both strong, independent people with your own careers, with your own profession and business, with your own vision of what life should be. But now the most important career you have is making your marriage work. We is that word. Don't ever forget it. And now it is my privilege to say that by the authority vested in me as a rabbi in Israel, and that entrusted to me by the state of Maryland, I now declare you to be husband and wife in the sight of God and all humanity. But before we leave this chuppah, this symbol of your first home in God's presence, I ask God to bless you with the ancient benediction of our ancestors. That's why it's white wine. Yevarechecha v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and watch over you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'choneka. May God's countenance shine upon you and ever be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's countenance be lifted unto you, and may you have long life, health, peace, and well-being, always together. Amen. And now the glass, best man puts it on the ground. This glass is very fragile. May this be the last thing that is ever destroyed between you. Mazel tov, kiss your bride.